Sanford Underground Research Facility Visitor Center, Concrete Caissons and Concrete Sign, Ainsworth-Benning Construction Incorporated.
Master Craftsman, Concrete Caissons Superintendent, Jim Heilman. Craftsman, Erik Bow, Jake McKinney, Tawanna Martin, Tigh Pfeifle. Concrete Sign Superintendent, Jim Heilman. Craftsman, Herb Dahl, Luke Castor, Logan Gies, Bruce Hanson, Wayne King, and Jeremy Turner.
The concrete caissons at the Sanford Underground Research Facility's new visitor center provided us with challenges we'd never experienced with any caissons before. From the depth of the holes to the size of the rebar, we were encountering tasks that needed solutions that previous experience didn't always solve. Trial and error was, at times, our greatest method of learning. The holes themselves ranged in depth from 84 feet to 135 feet, were drilled by a subcontractor, and provided a process where every step provided an opportunity to move beyond conventional thought. What's it take to build a 115-foot, 16-inch diameter rebar cage? Lots of rebar and tie wire, not to mention patience. The guys worked consistently amongst the meniality of tying rebar for 2 weeks to be able to keep up with the drillers once they commenced operations. So how do you move a 115-foot wet noodle? Very, very carefully and with 2 cranes. Anytime a crane is involved, the work gets serious. When the work involves a tandem pick, not just one but over 2 dozen, and the intensity of the job site matches that of the presidents during the capture of Osama bin Laden. Our guys executed the plan over and over, and the work went off without incident. So how do you know when to quit pumping concrete in holes that deep? We had to start at the bottom and work our way up, and there was no way to see where the concrete was in relation to where the end of the pump hose was. Measuring the volume of a cylinder is easy to figure out how much concrete to use, but it doesn't do much for how fast to pump it and the speed at which to retract the hose. Again, trial and error was the best teacher, and after a couple pours, the guys had a system down that allowed them to work with more relaxed peace of mind. This job provided another opportunity to gain new experience. It's not always appreciated at the moment, but the guys were able to look back and realize they did something nobody at Ainsworth-Benning has done and take pride in that. The new visitor center was a primary challenge for this portion of the project. The letters and logo themselves were handmade by Luke Castor and placed meticulously by members of the crew. Consideration had to be given for placement of the cone ties to not only be functional, but aesthetically pleasing as well. Vibrating the concrete provided issues not otherwise considered when using it. If it were used too close to the formwork, it could potentially damage the embedded structures. If it became caught on the rebar ties, it could not be just yanked out. In all, it was one of the most gentle concrete pours the company has experienced.